At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Okay, so the 2025 NFL Draft, it's done, it's dusted, the picks are in.
Yep, all wrapped up.
And while we're all watching highlights, the thing everyone's really jumping on right now, those instant draft grades.
Oh yeah, immediately. Forget the mock drafts, now it's evaluation time.
Exactly. So today, our mission for you is really to help you cut through all that noise. We want you to get a quick handle on what the experts are saying right now about the 2025 draft grades.
Especially for some of those big-name teams everyone's always watching, give you that, initial consensus.
And we're doing this by looking at what you were searching for, sort of the digital breadcrumbs, right? We saw tons of searches for NFL draft grades, naturally.
Makes sense.
But also really specific stuff like Eagles draft picks 2025, Browns draft picks 2025, Cowboys draft picks 2025, Steelers draft picks 2025.
And the big names too, right? Like Mel Kiper. People want to know what he thinks specifically.
Absolutely. Shows just how much demand there is for that, instant verdict.
It really is remarkable how fast these grades pop up. I mean, the draft ends and boom, analyses are everywhere.
It's almost simultaneous.
Yeah. You've got guys like Mel Kiper at ESPN. You've got PFF with their data-driven takes, loads of others. They're churning out reports basically in real time.
It's like a rapid response operation for football analysis.
Yeah.
But, okay, when we talk grades, is it just like A, B, C, D, F, or is there more to it?
That's a really good point. Yeah, many use the letter grades, A+ to F. It's an easy snapshot.
Right.
But the real meat is in the why, the analysis behind it. It's about, the talent they pick, sure, but also how does that player fit the team's needs, their scheme, and importantly, did they get good value where they pick them? So, yeah, the letter's quick, but the analysis tells the story.
Gotcha. Okay, let's dig into some of those teams you were searching for. AFC North first. Always a tough division. We saw a lot on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers draft picks 2025. What's the likely story there?
Well, with the Steelers, there's always that consistent interest, right? People watch them closely. It probably comes down to a few things. Did they finally sort out the O-line? What about defense?
And the QB question is always lurking, isn't it?
Exactly. That succession plan, or lack thereof. So you'd expect the expert grades, the Steelers draft grades, to really focus on whether the picks actually addressed those specific kind of perennial needs. Did they build for the future and plug immediate holes? That's usually the debate.
Okay, moving across Ohio. The Cleveland Browns. Also tons of searches. Browns draft picks 2025. Cleveland Browns draft picks 2025. What were people watching for there, you think?
Yeah, the Browns searches suggest, I think, a real curiosity about how they're building on that roster they've assembled. A lot of people feel they're close,
On the verge.
They've spent big in some areas, like the D-line, so maybe the draft was about finding, offensive weapons, secondary depth.
Complementary pieces.
Precisely. So the grades for the Browns would likely zero in on. Did these picks complement their strengths? Did they fill the remaining perceived gaps? Did they find players to push them over the top?
And even though we didn't see maybe the same volume of specific searches in our data for the Ravens and Bengals, they're obviously huge in the AFC North. What's the typical grading angle for them?
Oh, absolutely. They're always under the microscope. For the Ravens, you often see analysis focusing on their knack for finding value, especially in later rounds. It's kind of their trademark.
Yeah, they have a history there.
And for the Bengals, with Joe Burrow there, it's almost always about, okay, did they protect him? Did they get him more weapons? So even without specific searches popping for us, you can bet the grades are looking at whether they stuck to their known philosophies and address those obvious needs to, chase the Super Bowl.
Makes sense. Okay, let's jump over to the NFC East. Another division packed with rivalries. Huge interest, as you'd expect, in the Eagles and Cowboys. Eagles draft picks 2025. Dallas Cowboys draft picks 2025. Let's start with Philly. What needs were likely top of mind?
Well, the Eagles' interest, that makes sense. Recent contenders trying to stay at that level. Needs often circle around the trenches, right? D-line is huge for them historically.
Always is. Howie Roseman loves his linemen.
Exactly. And then secondary help, maybe some O-line depth too. keep Jalen Hurts upright. So those initial Eagles draft grades 2025 are probably going to heavily weigh whether the picks address those spots as they get guys who can step in relatively quickly.
And then the Cowboys. Always a circus, always headlines. Cowboys draft picks 2025, Dallas Cowboys draft picks. High volume there, too. What are experts usually looking for when grading Dallas?
Yeah, with Dallas, everything's magnified. The national spotlight, the pressure, it's intense.
Tell me about it.
Expert grades for them often wrestle with their draft philosophy. Do they go best player available, even if it's not a screaming need? Or do they target specific spots? Did they find potential game changers early?
Right.
The draft grades for Dallas are always debated like, will these picks finally be the ones to get them over that playoff hump? That's the narrative.
And similar to the AFC North, we can't forget the other teams in the NFC East, the Giants and Commanders. Any general thoughts on how their drafts might be graded?
Sure. With the Giants and Commanders, depending on where people see them in their sort of team life cycle, if they're seen as rebuilding.
Which they often are, lately.
Right. Then the grades might focus more on, say, upside and long-term potential rather than immediate impact. Did they snag players with high ceilings? Did they address the most glaring holes? Is there a clear strategy visible in the picks? It's maybe a slightly different lens than for Philly or Dallas right now.
Okay, let's pull back a bit. Look at the bigger picture. That search for #1 draft pick, always massive. What's the deal with the pressure around that single selection?
Oh, the #1 pick. It's just immense pressure, isn't it? On the player, on the team, it's framed as potentially franchise-altering.
Definitely.
So experts dissect that pick more than any other. Can this player be a cornerstone for like a decade? The grade isn't just about talent. It's about the fit, the team situation, the whole strategy of using that precious pick. Was it a safe bet? A big swing? That's always the core question.
And we keep seeing searches about QBs pop up year after year. Bears QB, Jets QB 2025, even just what NFL teams need a QB. How much does landing or not landing a QB swing the overall draft grade?
Well, given how vital the QB position is, I mean, it's everything in today's NFL. Any team drafting a QB, especially early, gets intense scrutiny.
Makes sense.
Whether it's Chicago building around someone new or the Jets trying again for that long-term guy or just general curiosity, these QB picks can totally dominate a team's grade. Analysts look at the prospect, sure, but also the situation. Does he have weapons? Good coaching? Is he set up to succeed? That massively influences the grade.
And the analysts themselves. We mentioned Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Searches for SPN NFL Draft, PF Mock Draft, NFL Mock Draft in general. They really shape the conversation, don't they?
Absolutely. Those searches just highlight the whole ecosystem. Kuiper, ESPN's coverage, PFF's analytics.
Yeah.
They create the framework for how we even talk about the draft.
Yeah.
And all those mock drafts beforehand, they set expectations. So when the actual picks happen, people compare. Was it a reach, a steal? That comparison, driven by the experts, feeds directly into the immediate grades people see.
It's not just who got picked either.
Mm-hmm.
People seem really invested in the event itself. We saw searches like, what time is the NFL draft? How many rounds in NFL draft day 2, day 3?
Yeah, that shows real fan engagement, doesn't it? People aren't just waiting for the results. They want to follow along. They understand the structure, the multi-day drama. They're invested in the process.
Right, wanting to be part of it. And finally, the really basic stuff, like where to watch NFL draft. Still popular.
And that just proves it's a major TV event, right? People want to watch it live, share the experience, react in the moment. That fuels all the instant analysis and the grade discussions we're talking about.
So, wrapping this up, these initial NFL draft grades, they're basically a snapshot, right? An immediate pulse check from experts and fans.
Exactly. Driven by needs, potential, perceived value, all that immediate reaction stuff.
But, and this is the key thing, it's just the start of the story.
Absolutely. The real grade, the true evaluation, that takes years. It unfolds on the field as these players actually, play football.
Totally. It makes you think, how different will these grades look in, say, 2028 or 2029?
Right. Will the A+ grades hold up? Will some C grades turn to steals?
And whose grading philosophy, which experts approach, actually proves more accurate over time? It's fascinating to think about the challenge of grading potential versus actual NFL performance.
Which leaves a really interesting question for you, the listener, to chew on. What are the real limits of trying to grade something so unpredictable? Predicting future success based on college tape and combine numbers. How much can we really know the moment after the pick is made?
Yeah, a complex puzzle indeed, and one we won't know the full answer to for quite a while.